Emmaus Spiritual Ministries really plays a critical role in our community for providing programs, workshops, and retreats that actually nourish the spirits of everyone. Emmaus Spiritual Ministries, we design our programs to meet the needs of the broader community. And this is part of our heritage. This is not new for the Sisters of St. Joseph of Orange. Actually, the Sisters of St. Joseph, who began in 17th century France, that's where they began offering programs and offerings to nourish the spirits of the communities that they served.
The mission for Emmaus Spiritual Ministries is to bring together people of all paths of faith who are seeking to nourish their spiritual life and gain sustenance for the journey of everyday living in this chaotic and very busy world. We companion people in that search for God and in that search for becoming more and more who they're called to be. We named Emmaus, the ministry Emmaus Spiritual Ministries, on purpose, because if we're companions on this sacred journey, Emmaus is the story in Scripture in the New Testament where Jesus encounters people on the road who are leaving Jerusalem just heartbroken that he's been killed. And so he encounters them, but they don't recognize him. So he listened to them first, and then he explains everything to them. Why all this happened? What was the purpose in it? How does that shape your life now? They still didn't know it was Jesus until they invited him in to have dinner with them, and when he took the bread and broke it, they recognized Jesus in the breaking of the bread. As Jesus companioned the people on the road, and the people companioned each other, we serve as companions to one another here at Emmaus Spiritual Ministries. The vision is to be an epicenter, a sacred epicenter, both here and abroad, to meet the needs of the people of God of all faiths. Because as Sisters of St. Joseph, we serve the dear neighbor without distinction. All faiths are welcome. The spirituality of the sisters is to bring all people into union with God and one another. So any ministry we do has the element of spirituality to it. It's natural to the Sisters of St. Joseph to be people who foster spirituality. That's the way Father Madai started us. It's very Ignatian in its spirit, and it's a significant reality of who we are. So the programs we offer here at Emmaus Spiritual Ministries are offered both here and on the road. Our programs are really geared towards formation. It's about forming or deepening a person's own inner life.
So I've been involved with the Art of Spiritual Direction program, or ASD program, since 2001. And at that time, while discerning a call to ministry, I attended a program at the Sisters of St. Joseph of Orange Center for Spiritual Development. One night while leaving class, I picked up a brochure called The Art of Spiritual Direction. And up to that point, the programs and ministry that I'd been evaluating really didn't speak to me. When I read that brochure, I remember thinking, wow, this is so me. In completing the program, my life was really transformed. The Art of Spiritual Direction program offers an environment and the hospitality to venture into places of the heart and soul while discerning a call to the ministry of spiritual direction.
At first, I was interested in just formation. This is sort of a theme which I'll talk about. In terms of, it looked like a great formation program just to talk about types of prayer, images of God, psychological aspects of the spiritual journey. Fundamentally, the thread that goes through it is how to form you and how to form you as a spiritual director to be aware of the constant presence of God, the constant presence of the Spirit in your life. How do we see that in ourselves? How do we help other people, either formally through direction or even just through our relationships, discover God in all things? Paula Darcy says, God comes disguised as your life. That's sort of the thread of the Art of Spiritual Direction program. And there's skills development, but underlying that, there's this thread of Ignatian spirituality, discovering God in the everyday.
It was just a very safe place to go deeper with Jesus. And that, I think, was the key for my story, is the safety, the Christ-centeredness, and the willingness to be creative. And we were empowered that it's okay to be different and be creative about what God was doing in us. And I think the last thing I would say is I grew in my awareness of God's presence in everything and the value of that everything. That was really powerful for me. In a sense, trust the system enough to learn and grow. There is a lot of diversity in ASD. People come from different traditions and they teach from different traditions. It's one of the beauties of the program, is this beauty of the unity we have in such diversity ethnically and religious traditions.
Global Ministries is an extension of the Emmaus Spiritual Ministries, and it addresses the needs in countries outside of the United States, Canada, and Europe. And it began because an indigenous group of women religious in Ghana asked us if we would help them form at least 20 of their sisters in spiritual direction. So we took the art for spiritual direction here at Emmaus, adapted it for the countries in Africa. So there's course content, things like developing a relationship with God, images of God, teaching them different styles of prayer. If you look at the mission statement of Emmaus, in terms of responding to a world in need of healing, and that it brings people together to bring them closer to God, I think this is what the Global Ministries does. It helps others to deepen that relationship with God, and hopefully through that process to heal some of the wounds that they carry from their past.
My interaction with the Sisters of St. Joseph, I would say, has been a blessing, a great blessing to me. It has been a long-time relationship. It has touched my life. The way they live, the way they go about their ministry, the way they interact with people has given me a great joy and great hope, and also inspiring me to try to do something for others.
Emmaus Spiritual Ministries is located in the heart of Orange County, and because of the grounds and the sacred gardens, we really become a sacred oasis for people who gather here. And these gatherings can be a number of types. They could be workshops, they could be typical meetings. We have a wide span of capacity. Even individuals that maybe want to come for a day retreat and just a day of prayer. Our retreat rooms are available for these individuals, or maybe even an overnight stay. Particularly those who are coming maybe from a long distance, we actually offer retreat rooms that individuals could stay in and have this sense of entering a peaceful time in their lives and an opportunity for solitude, silence, and prayer, and at the end of the day, just building our relationship with God.